Hey, welcome to another episode of geekoutdoors.com. And a little while back, I did an episode about the Moto X at the time, 2016. There were some early screenshots coming out of a website. I think it was out of a Hong Kong website. And now we have the official word from Motorola. I just received this in my inbox. I have purchased the Moto Gs before, so I get their marketing emails, and it says change is coming, summer 2016. And what do you know? It's the brand new Motorola, or in this case, Moto Z Force Droid Edition, Moto Z Droid Edition, and the Moto Mods. Wow, that's a really long name. And just by this simple, really quick email screenshot they sent me, these phones look identical to the earlier screenshots that we saw a few months ago. So, what are they? And what do I think about them? Well, let's head over to Motorola site. So when you get to their site, you're going to see an advertisement for the very first thing that they want you to see is Moto Mods. And I'm going to get into that here really quick. And after that, the Moto Z Droid. And then finally, the Moto Z Droid Force. And what are they actually, and what are the actual differences? Let's go ahead and start with the Moto Z Droid, which is their flagship. And I'm not really feeling these namings. It's just confusing to me. I wish they could just stick to a simpler name. Now, my feelings on the design, since this is pretty much identical to the leaked images a while back, my feelings are still the same. I do not like the front with the huge bezels on the top and bottom, and I definitely don't like the way the fingerprint scanner looks on the bottom. It just looks ugly. And the back, although I do like it, I don't like the protruding camera, and I don't like the appearance of the connectors in the back for their, their modularity, and which is their Moto Mods. And so I still don't like that. So what do you get out of this? You're going to get a 5.5-inch Quad HD AMOLED screen, which I do like AMOLED quite a bit. It does have a 2600 milliamp battery, and it says it's going to last about 8 hours. We'll see about that. But, with these previous flagships, you're going to get about a whole day's use. Okay? And as you could see here, which is unfortunate, both the Moto Z Droid and the Moto Z Droid Force is only going to be available on Verizon in the US in this particular summer. That's it. The fully unlocked edition will not be available till fall, and I really, really think that sucks, and that's a missed opportunity for Motorola because there are more flagships coming. Now, as you can see, the design, it's pretty much identical, like I said, to the earlier leaked shots. Protruding camera, and the connectors that you could see there, and the really ugly front huge bezels with the fingerprint scanner. Now, the internals on this, it does come with a Snapdragon 820 processor, with the maximum GPU that's available right now. It also comes with 4 gigs of RAM, either 32 gigs or 64 gigs with a micro SD card expansion up to 2 terabytes, and Motorola has always been good about that, which I really, really enjoy. And, it has a really high PPI, 535 PPI. So all these flagship phones, at least on Android, you're going to get pretty much the highest resolution available at this point, okay? It's got all the bands and fingerprint scanner, which you can obviously see. And it's basically got all the features that you would want. And the camera, it is a 13 megapixel camera. And, it does have OIS. And it does have looks like it has laser autofocus as well. And we'll see about the camera quality. The last Moto X Pure is probably the best camera that Motorola has ever produced, but it's still not up to par with the other flagships. The front camera is a 5 megapixel wide angle. And, it does have USB Type-C, which is nice. Okay, it really does. It comes with the newest version of Bluetooth and so forth. So it does have a lot of flagship features, okay, but until it comes out, we won't really see how well that is in terms of the actual quality of it compared to other flagship phones like the Samsung Galaxy S7, iPhone 6s, and my LG G5. And by the time this comes out, we're probably going to hear announcements of the upcoming iPhone 7 as well. Now, let's get to the other star of the show, which is the Moto Mods. Now, before I leave this, I do want to quickly point out the Moto Z Droid Force is basically going to be their really rugged version, okay? So that's like the Droid Max 2, where you could pretty much run over it with the car and it still won't crack the screen, okay? So that's pretty much what that is. Now, let's get to the Moto Mods. Now, modularity is going to be the future of phones, no doubt about it. You know, LG was the first major manufacturer to do that here in the US. And, you know, they really haven't had a chance to really show people what the modularity is all about. But it looks like Motorola is going to go right into it. Okay, now their design is a little different from LG. Instead of having at the bottom, they're going to have magnets that automatically snap onto the back, hence those connectors on the very back of the phone. Now, the way I saw this worked on videos, it looks very simple, plus you could do it while the phone's on, so you don't have to like turn off your phone to have the modules on, which is really nice. Now, in terms of the modules itself, we have a few. The first being a JBL speaker, so that's very similar to the Bang & Olufsen that the LG G5 has. Another one is a like a photo screen, a projector. It's a Pico projector, which is let me see if I could get up there. It's kind of weird. Other Android phones have done this before, primarily in China, but it is a Pico screen projector. See right here? Yeah, it's kind of weird, you know. So we'll see how that works. And then the final one that they have is a battery. Okay, so when you put this on there, this will give you additional battery life, and that's up to 22 hours of battery. Now, I do like the fact that it snaps on easily and you don't have to turn off your phone. However, I don't like the fact that it makes your phone bulky like crazy. It just makes it ugly, okay? And I do not think that's going to bode well for most people who like their phones to be slim, lightweight, and so forth. It's just really, really ugly, okay? Now, the way that LG does it, I think that one at this point is a better way to do it, where it's not too obtrusive, and it is at the bottom, you know, and it still keeps the thinness on the actual back itself. We'll see how this works, but I really think the modularity, specifically starting with Android phones, this is the very beginnings, and so I don't think we're going to be at a point yet where it's very useful and to the point where it looks aesthetically pleasing. So we'll see. And you know, the pricing for these have not come out yet, and neither has the pricing for the phone, which is the last thing that I wanted to talk about here, is the actual pricing. They have not put the pricing on Verizon's site or on Motorola's site yet, but judging by the previous phones, and they're still pretty expensive, we're probably going to be looking at, if you bought it from Verizon, probably going to be close to $500. Okay, that's what my guess is, you know, because these older phones, they're still expensive. Okay, so whenever it's released, unlocked, the Moto Z version, unlocked version on Motorola in the fall, Motorola's probably going to, you know, price it really aggressively at about $400. Okay, so overall, what are my thoughts? My thoughts, pretty much kind of the same as the leak images. You know, I'm really not as excited about it. I really am glad that Motorola is adding a lot of features and they are trying to do something different, much like LG. But the approach that they took primarily with designs, I think some of those sacrifices there, I just don't think it warrants it, you know. And I don't like the protruding camera. I don't think that works well with it. I definitely don't like the connectors, and the thing that I don't like the most is that front, the really big bezels on the front with the ugly fingerprint scanner. So well, let's wait and see until this comes out. At this point, in terms of Motorola, I've always been a fan of their phones and the fact that they do offer probably the closest to a Nexus-like experience on a phone from Android, and at the same time, they give a lot of features that are useful, like the micro SD card slot, the fast charging and so forth. And so I applaud Motorola for doing that, and especially for them keeping the prices as low as possible and making it a world phone. Now, this won't apply to the initial release on Verizon. However, they will come out with the unlocked version in the fall. But whether or not it's going to be enough, I'm not sure. I really don't think that they're doing enough and bringing it out early enough to compete, because there are so many really high quality, mid-range, and near premium quality phones coming out from China, mainly from Huawei, from Xiaomi. And, the competition is really tough. And even the OnePlus. And, Motorola is now owned by Lenovo, so they are a Chinese company as well. But there's just so much competition there. And I don't think this is going to be enough to actually make them stand out, okay? Now, obviously, until it comes out, not 100%, but those are my thoughts. So with that being said, what are your thoughts on this new Moto Z Droid, Moto Z Pure, Moto Z Droid Force, whatever you want to call it, and what are your thoughts on the Moto Mods? Okay, leave your comments and ideas below, and as always, I am on Snapchat at Geek Outdoors. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out this episode, and as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button, and for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.